I remember when I originally came to Australia, I fell in love with the miles and miles of wonderful and beautiful beaches that you have here. Then later on when I came back and promoted my movies, I loved the fans. Oh, they received me with open arms every time, and the movies were very popular here, so I loved that. And then when I became governor, I learned how impressive and the kind of great work that was done here in Australia to protect the environment and to create a great renewable energy future. So I love that. And today I love being back. I love that you call yourself a PhD in results, because I am a professor of action. You're going to get along really well. But in all seriousness, I want to say thank you to him for really helping hundreds of thousands of people discover their potential. And it is great to work with him here on this seminar, on this lecture. Of course, before I do a lecture like this, I always do an informal poll, because I want to know exactly what does people want me to talk about. And so there was interesting, the numbers, they were kind of all over the place. 40% of the people wanted me to talk about politics and about policy. 50% of the people wanted me to talk about bodybuilding and about the movies. And the rest of the 10% just wanted to have their money back from a movie, Hercules Goes Bananas, which is a movie I did 45 years ago and it went right into the toilets. I mean, so I understand that you didn't like the movie. But more seriously, everywhere I do go all around the world, and people always ask me, what is the secret to success? And I always tell them, I said, there's a short version and there's a long version. The short version is very simple. You got to have a 22-inch bicep. Second, you've got to be able to kill predators with your bare hands. And third, you have to be able to travel back on time. Travel back in time and save the human race. And number 4, you got to have this charming Austrian accent. But today we don't have to do the short version, because we can do the long version, because that's why I'm here, to talk to you about what makes one successful. Now, I have had 5 rules always in my life that make me successful. And I think that those rules are the most important thing that always saved me. And I believe that these rules also apply to anyone else. Everyone can use these rules. You don't need to be a bodybuilding champion. You don't need to be governor of California. You don't need to be an action star. No, anyone that wants to excel in whatever you do, those rules are for you. First, I want to explain to you that I was always very hungry. I was always very intense. I always wanted to be, just even when I was a kid, I always wanted to be number 1. I wanted to get to the top. I wanted to be the best. I never believed in just getting by. Now, I have nothing against people that just want to get by, because there's many roads to happiness. But I think that you all obviously want to be winners, and so my rules are for you. Now, the first rule is find your vision and follow it. I think it is the most important thing that we have a very clear vision, a very clear goal, a dream, something to shoot for. What is our passion? If you don't have that, you're just floating around. It is sad sometimes when you see people just going to work and not having any goal whatsoever. I think that you can have the best ship in the world, the best cruise liner, but if the captain does not know where to go, then this ship is going to drift around all over the world in the ocean and never end up anywhere. So I found my vision, luckily, in a very unique way. I was in Austria. I grew up after the Second World War. There was depression. Austria just lost the war. We were occupied with the Allied forces. So all the Austrians were, of course, pissed off about that. And there was a lot of alcoholism. There was no food. There was famine. And of course, it was also very small and constricting. I could not wait to get out of there, to be honest with you. I couldn't wait to escape that place. I couldn't see myself living there, working there, maybe in a factory or working there on a farm, being a farmer. I couldn't even see myself following the footsteps of my father, who was a police officer, even though that's what my parents wanted me to do. They wanted me to become a police officer and live the regular Austrian life, to marry a girl by the name of Heidi, to have a bunch of kids, and to run around like the Von Trapp family in the San Francisco. But that was my parents' vision, that was not my vision. And I was very fortunate that one day in school I watched a documentary about America. And I found myself. I knew right away this is where I wanted to live. That's where I wanted to be, because when I watched the documentary, it was so exciting, it was so beautiful. Everything was so huge. I mean, the tall skyscrapers, the monstrous bridges, the giant freeways filled with beautiful cars, the airlines, the airplanes, the big movie stars, the Muscle Beach, and all of the stuff that I saw about America, I fell in love with. So the question was just, how do I get to America? I mean, it cost a lot of money to go there. I did not know how to get there, but one day I saw a magazine on a newspaper stand, and that magazine showed me my path to America. It was a bodybuilding magazine, a strength magazine. And on the cover was this muscular guy in a Hercules pose with a Hercules outfit. He was massive. And it said on the title of the magazine, Mr. Universe becomes Hercules star. I remembered it very well. I mean, I read this article as fast as I could, learning about how he grew up in Leeds in England, in poverty, and how he grew up, and then how he trained 5 hours every day. He trained and lifted until he became Mr. Great Britain. And then later on he became Mr. Universe, not only once but 3 times. And then he ended up in Rome, in Cinecittà, and did Hercules movies. And he made millions of dollars, and that money he took and then bought himself a gymnasium chain in South Africa and became a successful gymnasium operator and owner. As I read, I became more and more certain about my own future. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to become another Reg Park. He laid out basically the blueprint for my life. I could see myself very clearly being on that stage in London where he won the Mr. Universe contest, and to win this trophy and to have all these people around me and screaming and idolizing me. I had a very clear dream about that, a very clear vision. And then afterwards to go to America, to move to America, and to get into movies, and to become a movie star, to get rich and famous.